Hey guys, sorry to be away for so long. I had a ton of fun at BabsCon. I got to meet with fellow fans, ask some questions of the writing staff, and my mind went all the wrong places while playing Cards Against Ponies. I also got to talk with a lot of fans about that age-old question, who's your favorite princess? And while it's completely subjective, my favorite is... Dude, not cool.
Well, you were asked on who you think is best princess. So if we're going to try to understand what you think, well, might as well dive a little deeper into your self-conscience. Besides, I've wanted to think deeper myself about Luna. She's, my favorite princess.
So you want to talk about for whom the Sweetie Belle toils while traversing my subconscious?
That, and maybe figure out how you come up with reviews.
Okay, it's your psyche on the line. Let's start with my ego.
I am awesomeness incarnate.
Well, this ought to be good. This episode begins when Rarity's in the works of a new fashion design for Sapphire Shores, who we haven't seen much of since Season 1. Meanwhile, Sweetie Belle asks for help with a set of dresses that she's made for on behalf of an act she was in the process of. Although Rarity has a plate full of things to do, she improvises.
Rarity and Sweetie Belle aren't really my favorite characters, yet they are the stars of my favorite episode, Sisterhood Social. So there's going to be some tough comparisons here. Right off the bat, this opening feels more exposition heavy than normal. It's the classic struggle of show, don't tell. How much info does the audience really need, and how can the writers present it?
And you know it's sad when the chemistry of Rarity and Sweetie Belle are better than Apple Bloom and Applejack. I mean, they're supposed to resemble family.
I think the reason Sweetie Belle and Rarity are a more believable sister set is that they're not as perfectly matched. Rarity is ambitious and focused on her work, while Sweetie is energetic and, well, sometimes destructive. They trip over one another often and aren't afraid to pull some tricks to get what they want. I think a lot of siblings will see more of themselves in Rarity and Sweetie Belle than they would Applejack and Apple Bloom.
So anyway, Sweetie Belle and her friends perform their act with very well-designed dresses, but only result in having the crowd enjoy the show because of that, and that alone.
Forsooth and anon, I cometh forthwith and post-haste with glad tidings, m'ladies.
Jeez, I haven't seen a writer-producer actor that hammy since...
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
Was that?
My Social Insecurity. I don't know why it looks like that one dude.
I guess you could say that was a funny story.
Oh, is that what I sound like?
This doesn't seem to please Sweetie Belle considering how much effort she invested in the act herself. Because of this, she feels jealous of Rarity for stealing the spotlight. Kinda understand your frustration there, Sweetie Belle. She heads back to Rarity and yells at her about the dresses, despite the fact that Sweetie Belle asked for help in the first place.
Now, here's the biggest misstep for me. Sweetie Belle rants about Rarity's insistence on just the right shade of red.
Sweetie Belle, get me some red ribbon. No, that's not red, that's cherry. No, that's not red, that's cinnamon. For Pete's sake, it's all red.
Which means that Sweetie went into this setup with some emotional baggage. That was something the audience needed to see and experience with the character so we could have some sympathy for her frustration. As it is, Sweetie Belle can come across as selfish, ignorant of Rarity's hard work.
Yeah, she doesn't really seem to clarify her issue with Rarity very well. Because of this, it can be a little hard for the audience to understand Sweetie Belle's issues. I guess that her anger got to her so much that she couldn't be clear. I don't know.
Although she could just be ticked off that none of the CMC sisters came to the play because they were helping Rarity pack up. And despite inviting their friends, all we see are adults at the after party, and Spike.
Aw, cheer up. The show is great. I'll get you some punch.
Whoa, Spike was helpful and likable? Have we started the dream sequence already?
By that, you mean we're seeing what we want the writers to actually do? Like put Spike in a better position instead of treating him like a pile of garbage?
Of course! Why do they have to beat up on the one male character in the show? It's such a...
Sorry about that. Inner rage.
It's not very big.
Yep, rage is usually impotent.
So, proceeding with the rest of the episode. Because Sweetie Belle isn't very happy about everything, she sneaks into Rarity's room overnight while sleeping and attempts to sabotage her career by partially undoing the headdress. This kinda leads me to the second problem. The episode almost villainizes her character here. I get that Sweetie is in a position where she'd be so upset that she'd do something this notorious, but it's almost difficult for us to connect with her given that she's upset about everything, especially considering that she wasn't very clear with Rarity.
Stealing the spotlight like you always do. It's my 5th birthday party all over again.
I'm sure that will have no meaning later on. It seems that Sweetie Belle's frustrations follow her into her dreams, where even an awards ceremony gets ruined by her sister. Yet now's the time for a little perspective as a familiar voice sets hundreds of fans a-squealing.
Enough!
Yep, I know that voice!
Oh my god, it's Luna! Luna! Best princess ever!
Wait, you're a Luna fan?
Yep, inner fanboy's a pain to keep in check.
Princess Luna receives a lot more attention in the fandom, including myself, because she was in a position where she was much more flawed that we could connect with. Characters who are deep in conflict or struggle is one of the more effective traits that gets the audience's attention. She was seen a few times more in Season 2, including her own episode, Luna Eclipse, and that's not even enough. Truth be told, Lauren Faust originally intended to have more episodes with Luna during Season 1, but Hasbro rejected it, implying that she was more of a villain and was considered too inappropriate for younger viewers. Yeah, you say that right after the end of the pilot episodes, guys. Now, to be fair, Celestia does have her own share of insight. For the most part, yes, she's a mentor of Twilight, but compared to Princess Twilight Sparkle, she has become more regretful of banishing her sister later on, based on what she had to do. But given how many years have gone by for the fandom, it's still geared towards what people want to see on Luna.
And absence may have a lot to do with that. Not seeing Luna for a whole season gave rise to fan speculation, creating things like Gamer Luna and Wuna. Yet even in the context of the show, Princess Luna is probably the most approachable. I think Cadence was intended to be the younger princess that girls could identify with, yet, like Celestia, she seems disconnected from her subjects. The only time we've seen her really interact with ponies is when they celebrate her. Luna's the only one of the big three to try and interact with her subjects on a personal level, with mixed results. And with her mentoring both Scootaloo and Sweetie Belle, she's shown a greater openness than Celestia, whose character is still limited to her relationship with Twilight. And what a mentorship it is as Luna grants Sweetie Belle views of past, present, and possible future.
Tonight you will be haunted by 3 ghosts! And they're all me. Hi.
And so we're taken down to the Christmas Carol formula where Sweetie Belle is shown through many different viewpoints of her past issues with Rarity, or specifically her 5th birthday party. She attempted to make a grand entrance in front of the kids when she saw that Rarity was holding the many birthday toys.
Who needs a birthday girl when you've got the birthday girl's amazing big sister?
Wow, that's totally not gonna tear a wound in her now, is it?
This is a great example of showing and not just telling. That bit at the beginning was a nice tease for something more important. Sometimes I think people want all the information up front, which isn't a good idea in storytelling. Now, there is some question as to how Luna can show just what really happened while Sweetie Belle was preparing. Maybe Luna can read memories via dreams, or she just had a little time magic. Or she held on to that special potion that Twilight used. Oh no.
Hey, what's this?
Do not look in there.
Ah!
That is my questionable mentality.
You've got issues.
Yeah.
In actuality, Rarity was trying to hold the kids from leaving the party given how bored they were. This is a nice compare and contrast scenario of how different viewpoints are established. Too bad we don't get something like that in reality. But ultimately, it shows younger viewers to understand different viewpoints and not think too much of themselves.
So we're only about halfway through the episode, and it's already given the younger audience some nice food for thought with a very well presented style. Nice. Maybe I should bring back my inner fanboy and have... Did I mention that I'm a somnambulist? You might want to wake up now.
I can't wake up until we finish the review.
Well, that's just silly. And the next phase of this little carol is a what-if scenario, where Sweetie Belle sees what will happen if Rarity's headdress falls apart.
And we see the consequences of what her actions are, and I can definitely feel for her when she's trapped in the ground, having legs like a changeling. Hey, we've all said it before.
It was nice to see Sweetie so upset about what she'd done. Just as in Sisterhood Social, the two may get mad at one another, yet give them enough time and their genuine feelings shine through. Now, here's something I wonder. Who is in the driver's seat as the scenario gets more and more nightmarish? I've seen fans criticize Luna for being monstrous and traumatizing Sweetie Belle with these images and not helping her wake up. Yet, I wonder if this isn't Sweetie Belle's own feelings taking hold and going crazy. It's up to fan speculation and a test of your inner fanboy.
Princess Luna is completely blameless. Oh, it's okay because I'm not real.
Luna is only providing what Sweetie Belle must do. The sequence here is definitely effective, showing how severe the repercussions are towards her actions. In other words, this is her tough love.
Though that doesn't excuse the greatest trauma of all, inexplicable dolphins.
What the?
I don't know. Once Sweetie Belle is back in the waking world, she's too late to stop Rarity. So it's time for 3 underage foals to get on the train to Canterlot with no supervision. I swear Equestria needs child support services. And Earpiece Secret Service ponies are now canon. I find that incredibly insignificant.
There's always those little things that can throw someone off.
5, 6, 7, 8, but bam!
God damn it, why? Even in my dreams, why?
It is the mystic power of leotards.
I'm sorry, I just can't help myself sometimes.
I gotta say, Sapphire Shore's got a ton of characterization in a very short time. She's shown as driven, demanding yet not spoiled, and trusting her instincts. Given that she only had an opening scene in a dog and pony show, I'm impressed by what they did with her character.
So Sweetie Belle manages to get through a window, confiscate the box that holds the headdress, and thus we get a Keep Away chase sequence like we've always seen in the show. Yeah, you know what's coming. Roll the theme.
And hi, Princess Luna, who's in Sapphire Shore's home for no reason. That's only a little creepy. Luna confirms that this is indeed reality, and she's here to help Sweetie Belle make things right. Again, this is a much more personable approach than her sister. While Celestia's hooves-off approach does have benefits, I enjoy seeing the contrast. And we find out as Sweetie Belle fesses up that dolphins are Sapphire Shore's lucky animal, which she always sees in her dreams. This dispels her doubts, and Rarity gets to keep her most prominent client. Personally, I'm just glad that the dream images had a porpoise.
And that's For Whom the Sweetie Belle Toils. What now?
I wish I could say this is the first time this has happened this week. Better sum things up.
This episode carries a few hiccups here and there, and it has a few missteps in parts of the narrative, but not as effectively disengaging as one would make it out to be. It's basically mixing up Sleepless in Ponyville with A Christmas Carol. It does have Luna, and her screen time here is a lot more active than in Sleepless in Ponyville, but it almost feels like a copy and paste. I also wasn't as impressed with the dream sequences as I was with the subtle wave effects in Sleepless in Ponyville, and the dream sequences in this episode wasn't bad. In fact, putting aside its shortcomings, it does what it needs to do to get Sweetie Belle's tour of self-consciousness across. And all in all, I think it's a great episode. It's definitely become one of my favorite episodes this season, though that doesn't level up with Pinkie Pride or Princess Twilight Sparkle, as flawed of a premiere that was. But nonetheless, I loved this episode.
Oh, hey, do you still want to know the secret behind my reviews?
We're about to die.
Story of my life. Don't worry, it's real quick. See?
Hey, mister, are you a Pegasus? Oh my gosh, that's so cool. You've got wings and everything. And oh my gosh, you're a pony. I'm only half a pony, but it's a really cool half. But it's the part that does all the pooing.
Who is he?
My inner child. You know, that part of every fan that finds some delight in the show. Because really, that's where I get most of my inspiration. Just having fun and watching the show without worry.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Also, I keep him as far away from Michael Bay movies as possible.
I can't blame you on that one.
This episode is just the kind I enjoy. As the younger of two brothers, I really identify with Sweetie Belle's conflict. There's the desire to emulate someone you admire, yet forge your own identity at the same time. And in terms of fun, this episode had some great imagery, good jokes, and characterization for 2 second-tier ponies. There are a lot of similarities to Luna's interaction with Scootaloo, and that can be a detraction. Yet I really enjoy how Luna is reaching out to her subjects and using her own experience as a teaching method. She may not get the most screen time, but she still stands out as my favorite princess. This episode might not be on the same level as Sisterhood of Social, but I can say this was a fun episode for me and my inner child. And with that, I think it's time that we wake up!
Well, Silver, it's been nice reviewing with you. Now we better get moving.
Now, normally I'd be looking at another trip to the hereafter, but thanks to the support of my Patreon viewers. I have a flight animation! Into the wild blue I soar. Oh, it was ending so well.
Oh, keep it down, will you? Bloody bird brain.